What's going on, y'all? It's Season Love, SCN, Ayurveda, Suwapi, and welcome to another episode of the Money Healing Monologues. Over here at the Money Healing Monologues, I like to open up a space to speak about the development of communal wealth, health, and excellence. So, join me every time I feel like it, where I like to reiterate, reteach, and dissect some shit that I just think us as a community, planetary tribe, should speak about. So, of course, as you know, this is to open up a conversation, So please feel free to comment down below and let me know your thoughts. If you agree with me, you disagree with me, if I ruffled some feathers, whatever the case may be, comment down below and let me know. So we are in the retrograde season of the Money Healing Monologues. And if you're new here, what that means is we are literally going back to all 34 episodes of is it 34 or 35? 34 episodes of season 1, and we're going over those reiterating them. And I feel that this is going to be a ritual for the in-between seasons of the podcast. I just feel like that's so beautiful because it shows a beautiful sense of boundlessness, of knowing that we aren't finite. Nothing is quote unquote set in stone in a form that is not liable for healthy reconnaissance. And I do mean reconnaissance in the senses of like really searching and seeing these malicious loops for what they actually are. Seeing, I guess you can call it the good versus the evil, the shadow versus the light, but not in a way that is dividing us, right? We understand that oneness. We are everything, everything is us, and that truly means taking accountability for all of me. I am you, you are me. I am the trees, I'm this, blanket right here, I'm this mic. I am everything, expressed in a variety of different ways. And when we're able to really focus in and meditate within that form of existence, the embodiment, it's just different. It's different. It feels different. It hits different. So yeah, I be yapping as you should already know. If you're new here, then now you know. But today we are on, I believe it's episode 7. Yes, we are on episode 7, and we are going back and talking about greed versus necessity. If you haven't watched that episode of the Money Healing Monologues, you should, go back and watch that for sure. But how these are being restructured this time around, especially like from now moving forward, is I am taking this podcast as a beautiful opportunity to really continue to speak to you guys about exactly what the fuck I mean, and in a sense of giving you guys a beautiful taste of my services. And if you don't know, I do have an alchemy shop, Seasons Alchemy Shop. You can find that on my Substack, and you can also subscribe to my Substack as a free or paid subscriber, $9.99 a month. Any of this obviously goes towards my livelihood and what I love to do, which is, crafting conscious media and what I'm doing right now. So it's a beautiful way right now for me to just lay it all out in that way. And I have 4 services that I am continuing to hone in on and specialize within. It's inner child recon. There's creative health checkups. There are dream decodes. Love that one. and then there are soul's purpose transcripts. So I am going to flow through each of those in each of these episodes from now moving forward, and kind of being able to depict a rather holistic view, if you will. And it'll feel like the momentum of the previous episodes, but without further ado, let's just get into it. My intros won't always be this long, but so first and foremost, when we're talking about greed versus necessity, you can definitely watch the last video to understand, when I pulled up the definition, things of that nature. But here we're speaking in terms of I'm never going to sit on my channel or any of my platforms and act like y'all don't know or are not capable of knowing what I know. That's just tea. Like, you are me, your source. We are everything. And the even thought or projections of confusion, not saying it's a bad thing, but it's exactly that. We're casting spells of confusion. We're projecting spells of confusion. And that's not a natural frequency of the all-knowing source, right? And this is where I feel like religion got really tricky. If we're just doing some inner child recon real quick, right? Like, it's the way that we were conditioned to see hierarchical, like, relationships in relation to, like, I hear, like, parent figures, right? Like, we're not able to go against this all-knowing source, right? This all big, force that is before us, right? We're not able to, like, it's not allowed. It's not allowed to say that you're God because, you're not all perfect, right? We start getting that Agent Smith effect of wanting to put people down because of their confidence. You feel me? Or they're just, there's a inevitable sense or urge to compare, right? Because we are conditioned to internalize each other rather than establish a healthy connection with all people, places, and things that we come in contact with. And a healthy relationship obviously looks different for every single being. However, I think we can identify that this absolutely, this discomfort with accepting the lack of shame when it comes to greed, and accepting the disparity of what people really think a necessity is and what we as a people choose to allow. Sorry, get that out of here. But you feel me? It's originating from our structures and the experiences that came up around us and shaped these perspectives or shaped these ways of being that we had to create in order to cloak ourselves, protect ourselves, and stay like as sovereign as possible, have some sort of like dignity, right? If we're even graced with that. And it's very interesting because flowing into like the creative health check of vibes, like the energy right now that's depicting itself is like a really strong fatigue on the planet. Like, everybody is very exhausted. Everybody is waking up to a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? And just like, wow, like seeing the greed for exactly what it is. Seeing these niggas for exactly what they are. They don't got no fucking shame. They looking at y'all niggas like, okay, y'all protesting, complaining about this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like, the fuck? You think they really gave a fuck back then when they was burning down black villages and shit? And like I told y'all, like, I have expanded this podcast to the planetary tribe, but obviously the sector of people, I guess you can say, in terms of like a common experience, obviously I can speak as a black goddess, you know what I mean? Melanated, I like to say neuromelanated goddess, but black, African American, or whatever label we have created in order to categorize ourselves and differentiate ourselves even further And that's why I've expanded it, because we have to understand the oneness. We can't be sitting here and being picky and choosy about certain shit, because this entire system was bred from literal greedy motherfuckers. Like, do you know what a leech is? Do you know what a leech is? And that's really like the check-in, or like the wake-up call. Like, we're in the creative health checkup vibes right now. Like, that's really the wake-up call, because it's like, bro, like there's like I was saying earlier, there's quote unquote good versus evil, right? Now, because evil has traumatized us so much in so much meticulous, uncomfortable, shameful, like disgusting ways, we're scared of it. We're fearful in more ways than one, on so many different dimensions. But and has us looking in so many different directions, or pulling our energy in so many different directions. Gratitude source. So it's like our root chakra is already unstable, bitch. Like, half of us, you know what I mean, was dealing with homelessness, evictions. Oh my gosh, am I gonna get enough for rent this month? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then going up to the sacral chakra, like we already shameful about the shit that we think that we can't have, or whatever conditioning that you were given, like growing up. You know what I'm saying? I brought up the religious tip type thing of like not really being able to acknowledge your worth, or just like be confident in who you are, because it's seen as arrogant, egotistical, XYZ. Oh, you can't be God because you're still a specimen that has to learn and grow just like everybody else. People want to pull each other down, right? Don't feel too high and mighty now, you know? And then when the inevitable happens of alchemical beings coming through and making their mark on people, y'all see how much other shit that breeds. You know what I'm saying? Leeches show up in different kind of ways when it comes to the certain frequency that beings start to emit, whether that being is conscious of it or not in their elevation journey, right? We know so many different artists that are just have been dedicated to their craft, me being one of them, just going, doing, and honing in on our skills, right? People feel whatever ways that they feel about how we impact them. And the more potent your frequency becomes in terms of self-sustainability, I'll touch on that after, the more magnetism you exude. Your aura becomes something that people want to, oh my goodness. That's why people act like that towards celebrities. And you see, in that sense, we all low-key some greedy, leeching motherfuckers, aren't we? Subconsciously too, because we've been taught to want without regard. You feel me? That's what breeds these environments for grapists and other malevolent beings, because these frequencies are still rummaging on the realm, untamed. And you could think of jail and all these other things, and the checks and balances system. Oh, it's here to keep us safe. How safe has it been keeping us? Wasn't there just a school shooting the other day? And it don't matter what the fucking skin color of the person was that did it. It matters that the system keeps allowing this shit. The first time we ever even heard of that shit, of somebody shooting up a fucking school with kids, oh, the planet should have been on that. Where was that rage? Where was that like oomph? We're desensitized. Let's get into the dream illusion decodes now. Like, let's really dissolve all of these fucking illusions of our reality, because you're seeing the truth right now. We're all getting to see the truth right now. More and more, clearer and clearer, and you can't deny it. So it's more like, what are you still willing to play along with and believe at this point, especially if you're in alignment with this message and you're 14 minutes in now, about to be 15? Like, you really feeling this? What are you still willing to believe, bro? Deadass. Journal about that shit. Meditate about that shit. Because the more that you perpetuate these very things that were created to keep us stuck, the more these shits are, like, that's neglect. Do you understand that that's neglect? Greedy motherfuckers, they are neglectful as fuck because they don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about what it takes to get what they want. They don't give a fuck. And to some regard, that's them not giving a fuck about themselves. Because they're willing to do anything, bend over backwards, whatever the fuck they gotta do to get what they need. And we see that narrative in a lot more ways than one. Because it's like we're all forced to be greedy coming out the pussy. We just like, we gotta eat, we need this, we need that, we need da-da-da. And we don't have to perceive it as greed, right? Because now when we go back to the inner child stuff and we see how we've been indoctrinated, right? How our parents were conditioned and then were conditioning us in attempting to raise us, right? In this fucked up system, fucked up ass environment. Like, I'm wondering what you think about your conditioning and how it has kept you stuck in perpetuating some belief systems, thought forms, or habits that aren't just like, how effective are they? How effective are they? And that's why I love, like, you know, the aspect of, yes, duality, but overstanding duality in the context of oneness and taking that fucking accountability for both of the sides. Don't pick a side. It's dark and light. Damn, that's a bar. You're going to hear that song soon. But I love that came up because within breaking all of these illusions, we're overstanding what true, quote unquote, necessities are in this matrix and realizing that, well, what is it that we truly, quote unquote, need? What do we really require as beings? And taking that more seriously and loving ourselves enough to actually go for that and demand that shit. Like, this is not like negotiable when it comes to the shit that I need, quote unquote, if we want to use need. But I feel like it's so funny because I feel like necessity is a form of greed as well too, because the origins of how we were even planted here in this realm, being incarnated, quote unquote, humans in the development of our species over time, the truth to that, you know, even the archivist, the scientist, I was saying this in the blog post the other day, all of our peoples, all you niggas that have been studying for all the years that you've been studying, love y'all, shout out to y'all. Everything that you have been studying needs to be cleansed as well. And I say needs in the sense of demanding what we truly deserve on this planet. Not making more and more excuses to keep perpetuating the shit that we're perpetuating. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about what y'all think about this checks and balance system. It's not fucking working, is it? Kids are still dying, aren't they? People are still on the verge or are actually homeless, aren't they? So where's the omniversal solution-oriented beings that are ready to step up and actually alchemize their fucking industry? I'm serious. I'm very fucking serious. And walking into some soul's purpose type of things, we are guardians of the realm. So if you're wondering why my energy is like this, yeah, it's because I'm a guardian of the fucking realm. Like, we're not about to keep doing this. And the reason that I have been away from this podcast for a little bit and just like doing me for the past year, focusing on myself, is because, I deserve that. Based on like my lineage and how much we've worked over the past generations, oh yeah, I'm taking my fucking rest because this rise is inevitable. It's inevitable. See, I unlocked so many codes for you guys just sitting here talking to you guys and utilizing my superpower that is my throat chakra. My honey does the same exact thing. My partner is doing the same exact thing actually in the other room on his live. Know what I'm saying? There's codes here to help you remember if you truly want that. Now, if you're willing to accept that, says a lot about you and the frequency that you reside on. So again, is it really about good or bad, or if you're doing good? Because that's that church shit, that programming, you know what I'm saying? Like understanding the structures that were within our childhood so that we can understand why we act like that now. Because when we talk about original coding, original source coding, unlocking our quote unquote dormant DNA or junk DNA, they call it, right? The truth breeds from within us, inevitably, and you can feel the continuities of source when you're present with that resonance. So I'm actually going to stop there because I can go into a whole other code, but that's going to like lengthen this video a few more minutes. And I do want to keep these relatively short, especially because of the momentum that I'm going in there in it now. So yeah, guys, I thank you for watching this. I thank you very much for taking the time to meditate with me and hear this monologue. I will be posting these quite frequently moving forward, and I genuinely would love to hear from you guys down below in the comments. You know, I was saying that all last season, but in this retrograde season, no, seriously, like I would like for you guys to comment down below whether you're tuning in on Substack or Spotify, Anchor, wherever, audio wise, you know, or you're watching me on YouTube right now. Let me know. Let me know it's tea. But on that note, I wish you guys a beautiful experience. Much love to you. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.